Nobody is talking about this the way they should be. A woman tried to attack Rihanna. And while that might sound like just another crazy fan story, there's something far darker hiding behind this. Her children were at home. The shooter came prepared, wig, extra ammunition, and even paper plates on the car to cover her tracks. And just when you thought it couldn't get more shocking, just 1 week after the highest bail in Los Angeles history, a judge quietly reduced it by 5 times. No explanation. Nothing. This story is bigger than anyone is telling you, and we're going to unravel it right now. Nobody is talking about this the way they should be, and most people are still missing the real gravity of what happened. A woman tried to attack Rihanna, and at first glance it might sound like another strange story about an obsessed fan. But this was something very different, something far more chilling. At the time of the incident, Rihanna's children were inside the home, safe, but unknowingly at risk. The woman who showed up at the gate did not simply act on impulse. She arrived fully prepared with a disguise in the form of a wig, extra ammunition, and even paper plates covering her license plates to avoid being traced. The detail that should shock the world is this. Just 1 week after she was initially ordered held on what became the highest bail in Los Angeles history, a judge quietly reduced that bail by 5 times. There was no explanation given, no public clarification, no reason offered. The decision was simply made, almost as if the entire episode were not worthy of scrutiny, and the story slipped quietly out of the spotlight. You might have clicked on this expecting yet another wild story about a fan gone rogue, and I completely understand that impression. That is exactly how the early headlines framed it, and for many that was enough to move on. But as more information has surfaced, what once seemed like a random incident starts to feel like something much darker and far more deliberate. The very first detail that should make anyone stop and question the surface narrative is the bail itself. A judge set the bail at an extraordinary $10,200,000, the highest bail ever recorded in Los Angeles County for a shooting case where no one was physically injured. Let that sink in for a moment. In a city where actual murders have resulted in far lower bail amounts, why would a judge treat this one case as if the defendant posed an uncontrollable threat to society? The magnitude of that decision alone demands deeper questions, yet those questions are barely being asked, and the rush to quiet the public conversation only makes the unanswered questions echo louder. Just 1 week later, the same judge, with no new evidence or changes in the charges, quietly reduced the bail by 5 times, lowering it from a staggering $10.2 million to a mere $1.8 million. Just like that. No explanation, no justification. The media barely even acknowledged the shift, and yet that single, seemingly minor change should raise massive red flags. It speaks volumes about the things we're not being told, the things being kept behind the scenes, away from public view. What's really going on here? That's the question no one is asking loud enough. In this video, we'll take a deeper look at Ivana Ortiz, uncovering who she really is, what her connection is to one of the world's biggest music empires, and why Rihanna's name keeps resurfacing every time someone mentions the Epstein files. By the time you finish watching, you'll understand why Rihanna packed up her children and fled Los Angeles without a word the very next day, and hasn't been back since. On March 8, 2026, Ivana LZ Ortiz, a 35-year-old woman from Orlando, Florida, made the harrowing 2,500-mile journey to Beverly Hills, California. She arrived at Rihanna's front gate and without hesitation opened fire with an AR-15-style rifle, discharging more than 10 shots in quick succession. The bullets struck the front gate, shattered windows, and lodged into the house. But here's the most chilling detail. Rihanna and A$AP Rocky were inside that very trailer at the time, just feet away from the barrage. They weren't in the main house. No, they were in the trailer, sitting ducks in the line of fire. Inside the house were 3 children, Rihanna's mother, and 2 staff members. A total of 8 people were in imminent danger. The aftermath of the shooting shocked the world, but the details that followed were even more terrifying. Ivana Ortiz was arrested shortly after the shooting for firing multiple rounds at the pop star's California home. While authorities confirmed Rihanna was present at the time, there was still confusion surrounding whether A$AP Rocky and their 3 children were also inside. Ortiz didn't flee in a panic. No, she calmly drove away, as if the act she'd just committed was just another item on her checklist. She was caught about 30 minutes later at a shopping center 7 miles away. When police searched her car, they found a trove of chilling evidence. The AR-15 rifle, 7 spent shell casings, a blonde wig, likely to alter her appearance, and a 30-round magazine. The district attorney made it clear, This wasn't some random outburst of violence. It was a calculated, deliberate, and premeditated attack. And then there's the chilling connection to the Epstein files. On January 30th, 2026, the Department of Justice released a staggering 3.5 million pages of documents tied to Jeffrey Epstein, everything from videos and images to FBI files. Hidden among those pages was an unverified tip from 2019 that named Jay-Z. Let's be clear, he hasn't been charged with anything, but his name is there, buried in the depths of the investigation. What does that mean? Just 5 days before the shooting, Congresswoman Nancy Mace confirmed that Jay-Z is one of the key individuals the government is actively reviewing in connection with the Epstein case. Why is this important? Because Jay-Z is the man who discovered Rihanna. He's been a defining figure in her career since she was a teenager. He brought her into the fold, shaping her career from its very beginnings. Understanding this connection makes everything else in this story start to fall into place. Now let's shift our focus to Ivana Ortiz. At first, many people assumed she was just another crazed fan who lost control. Her social media activity seemed to confirm this theory. For months, she'd been posting about Rihanna, claiming that the star was harassing her, that God's judgment was closing in on her, and calling Rihanna ugly. These posts were relentless, one after another. But here's where things start to get complicated. Yes, her social media paints a picture of someone struggling with their mental health, but the way she executed this attack doesn't align with the actions of someone who simply snapped. This wasn't a spontaneous outburst. No, this was a meticulously planned operation. Ortiz didn't just lose control. She made a choice. She drove over 2,500 miles from Florida to California, arriving with a blonde wig to disguise herself. She brought extra ammunition, and she even used paper plates on her car to avoid being traced. This wasn't a breakdown. It was premeditated, methodical. Then, in a twist that raises even more suspicion, the judge initially set the bail at $10.2 million, the highest ever in LA County history for a shooting where no one was physically hurt. But inexplicably, just 1 week later, the same judge, with no new evidence or changes in the case, reduced the bail by 5 times, lowering it to a mere $1.8 million. No explanation was given, just a sudden drop without any justification or clarification. So here's the crucial question. Who stands to benefit from Ivana Ortiz being released quickly? Why the rush? Who's pulling the strings behind the scenes? That's the question no one seems to be asking loudly enough. But if we dig deeper, the truth starts to unravel, and we realize that this story is far from over. There were new revelations in the weeks before the shooting. Months earlier, investigators noted that Ivana Ortiz had posted a series of disturbing videos on her social media accounts, including one where she ominously said, "When you die, God is taking me to my future. You want to kill me? Shut up." Authorities have since been combing through her posts for any possible clues about her state of mind and intentions. In the fall of 2025, Ortiz filed a lawsuit seeking to block a major concert from taking place in her city, claiming it posed personal harm. The case was dismissed by the court. The company she sued also happens to be a major global concert promoter that works with the music enterprise associated with the recording artist at the center of this episode. That connection has fueled speculation, though it is important to emphasize that no official link has been established between the lawsuit and the later events. Some commentators in the entertainment world have suggested that high-profile industries sometimes use the visible struggles of individuals as quick explanations for complex events, pointing to social posts and erratic behavior as a way to close discussion. In this narrative frame, Ortiz's online history and personal posts are often raised as part of that larger conversation. To understand the broader narrative arc that many people are discussing, some commentators look back nearly 2 decades. In 2005, when the artist at the center of this story was a teenager, she traveled to New York to audition for one of the most influential executives in the industry. In later interviews, she recalled a moment where she was told there were 2 ways to exit his office: through the door with an opportunity, or through the window on a high floor. At the time, audiences reacted with shock and nervous laughter, in light of subsequent speculation and publicity. See documents that mention major industry figures in connection with a separate federal investigation. That anecdote has taken on a different emotional resonance for some observers. Jay-Z later confirmed the story, admitting that they signed the deal that night at 3:00 a.m. He didn't let her leave without it. At the time, the story was painted as a tale of hustle and ambition, a moment that demonstrated Jay-Z's passion for discovering raw talent. But now, in 2026, with Jay-Z's name appearing in the Epstein files, that same story takes on an entirely different tone. What once seemed like a moment of determination now feels shadowed by a much darker context. Rihanna has been immersed in the entertainment industry for 2 decades. She's been to the exclusive parties, flown on private jets, and been in the rooms where secrets are whispered and deals are made. She knows who is involved in the darker side of the industry, and she understands all too well the skeletons hiding behind the polished public images. With Diddy behind bars, Weinstein convicted, and the Epstein files now under intense federal scrutiny, Rihanna's name has surfaced as someone who might be able to shed light on it all. In fact, just 5 days before the shooting, Congresswoman Nancy Mace confirmed that Jay-Z was being actively reviewed by the government in connection with the Epstein investigation. Comedian Cat Williams has been vocal for years about the ugly truths lurking in the entertainment industry. He said it bluntly, "The industry doesn't need to kill you, it just needs to scare you enough to silence you." And on March 9th, just 1 day after the shooting, Rihanna packed up her family and vanished. She fled Los Angeles, never to return. If this was truly just the act of a crazed fan, Rihanna wouldn't have run. She would have hired more security, beefed up her defenses, and remained in the safety of her home. But when the shooter is only the first wave in a much bigger storm, you don't stay to face it. You run, you protect your family, and you disappear from the radar. Then there's 50 Cent, whose silence speaks louder than any words could. This is a man who has publicly supported Rihanna for over 15 years. When Chris Brown attacked her in 2009, 50 Cent spoke out immediately in her defense. When A$AP Rocky faced trial in 2025, 50 Cent was there, backing him publicly the entire time. But after the shooting on March 8th, 50 Cent said nothing, not a word. His silence in the face of this crisis speaks volumes, and it leaves us asking, why? Insiders have revealed that privately, 50 Cent reached out to A$AP Rocky after the shooting. He allegedly told him, "Take Rihanna and the kids to Barbados. Whoever sent that shooter will send someone else." 50 Cent is no stranger to the harsh realities of the industry. He's witnessed firsthand what happens to those who dare to speak out. People like Cat Williams, Corey Feldman, Rose McGowan, and Kanye West, who have all been silenced or dismissed for challenging the status quo. So 50 Cent made a choice. Instead of exposing the dark underbelly of the music world by calling out names on social media, he's chosen a subtler path. He's producing documentaries, shining a light on the music industry, the power dynamics that govern it, and allowing viewers to connect the dots themselves. And honestly, that might be the most strategic move he could make right now. Before we finish, let's discuss 2 theories that have been gaining traction in recent weeks. The first theory revolves around A$AP Rocky's former crew member, A$AP Ray, who publicly accused Rocky of shooting him. The allegations were serious, and even though Rocky was acquitted in February 2025, the anger and animosity between the two still linger. Some have wondered if Ray might have had a hand in the shooting, seeking revenge or using it as leverage. But the second theory, which is gaining even more attention, connects everything to Roc Nation. There are growing whispers that Rihanna has been cooperating with federal investigators, discussing what she knows about Jay-Z's dealings and the powerful network she's been part of for over 20 years. No one has confirmed this, but if there's even a kernel of truth to it, it would explain why someone would send such a bold message at this precise moment in time. So what do you think? Did Ivana Ortiz act alone, or is there something much darker and deeper at play here? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this video made you think, share it. This story deserves far more attention than it's been getting. I'll see you in the next one. Remember, we're just scratching the surface here. This is only the beginning. Stay tuned for more updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Remember, we're just scratching the surface here. This is only the beginning. Stay tuned for more updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.